Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the UnLearnT Podcast. I am your host, Ruth Abigail Smith, and it is Freedom Friday, your opportunity to hear from me or one of my friends to hear about what we've unlearned this week, and how it has made us a little bit more free. So I have the opportunity of leading a nonprofit, most of you know, called Angel Street. And as a nonprofit leader, I am very focused on data and results because that's what people want to know. What are the results, or what will be the results of what you're doing? Almost every grant application asks that. Almost every investor asks that. And that is a great question, and it should be asked. So we're always having to think about, how do we communicate the result, right? Here's what's interesting. A lot of what we communicate isn't necessarily stuff that we've seen. Some stuff we have to communicate that we haven't seen yet. Some results we are believing will happen, or it's a goal, or it's what we want to happen, but it hasn't necessarily happened. Some things we have seen and we could say this is the result of that. Some stuff people want to know what's going to happen. And that could be a kind of a scary position to be in. When you're declaring that you believe a result's going to happen that you haven't seen yet. But we call that faith, right? We call believing in something we haven't seen faith. And so something I'm unlearning recently is to not be afraid of declaring a result before you see it. Because that's exactly what faith does, right? It declares the result before you see it. So how do I do that? Why is it that I can do that with such confidence? Well, the result actually stems from behavior, right? Results stem from behavior. If I do something enough, if I do something in a particular way, I'm going to get a result. But behavior really stems from belief. So we have to start with belief, which drives behavior, which gets the result. Part of the issue, I think, of why we can be afraid to declare results before we see them is because we actually don't believe that it'll happen. We don't believe, therefore, we never see it. The middle of belief and result is behavior. You'll never see something if you don't do the thing that you need to do to get it, but you'll never do it if you don't actually believe it. So, all right, you're at a party, and there's a bunch of there's a bunch of seats, but only one is available, right? All the seats are taken, everybody else is standing up, and somebody says, "Hey, you can take that chair if you want to," and you look at it, looks a little wobbly, and you say, "No, I don't. No, I think I'm good." Well, no, it'll hold you up, I promise. Oh yeah, I believe it'll hold me up, but I'm not gonna sit in it though. It looks a little wobbly. I'm not gonna sit in it. No, it'll hold you up. Yeah, I believe you, but I'm not going to sit in it. The problem is you keep saying you believe it, but there's no action to follow it. So that person really doesn't believe that the chair will hold them up, even though they keep saying it. We can say things all day long, but we don't believe it until action follows. And results come because of action. Results come because of action. So when you don't see results, you're not moving, and you're not moving because you don't actually believe it. So I think part of becoming more free is becoming less concerned about the result and more concerned about your belief. Because if you put your energy in your belief, your behavior will follow, and you will get the result. You will get the result. And I believe that is one of the barriers, at least I know it has been in my life, to why we don't move forward, why we actually aren't free in a lot of areas, because I don't actually believe it, therefore I don't do it, therefore I don't see it. But if we focus our energy on belief, and we focus our energy on saying, hey, I believe this, and then I allow my behavior to follow that, then that behavior will drive the very result that you said you believe in the first place. I've seen it. I've seen it in my life with money. I've seen it in my life with relationships. I've seen it in my life with work, even with this organization, right? There are things that we said were going to happen before it happened, and it happened. Not because of any kind of magic, but because we believed it would happen, so we began to move in that direction and go ahead and do things before we knew exactly how it was going to turn out. We did it anyway. And then we were able to say, this is what happened. And more times than not, the thing that happened is exactly what we said was going to happen. So I hope that's not too confusing, but I do think it's important for us to, and for me to continue to unlearn that my results, I can't be afraid to declare a result before I know it's going to happen, because the very declaration of that is centered in my degree of belief, which is going to drive my behavior, which will get the result. So if you're struggling with not seeing what you want to see, check your belief. Check your belief. And ask yourself the hard question, do I actually believe this? Because if I did, maybe I'd be moving in that direction. All right, so that's it for Freedom Friday. We will be back next week. You all have a great weekend and keep unlearning so that you can keep moving towards freedom. All right, peace. Thank you once again for listening to the UnLearnT Podcast. We would love to hear your comments and your feedback about the episode. Feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and to let us know what you think. We're looking forward to the next time when we are able to unlearn together to move forward towards freedom. See you then.